Hi everyone, this video is called Basic Properties of Similarity, and this really is the first section of this note packet where there is some heavy-duty calculations to do, but not really heavy-duty. I would say more than what we've done already. There hasn't really been much in this note packet, so I want to jump right into exercise number 1. But before we do that, just take a look at the box that is at the top of the note packet. And we have to follow, or we have to know about these two properties in order to do the problems. All right, and so it says if two shapes are similar, and we know what that means, same shape, but not necessarily the same size. Besides having the same shape, these two properties hold. All right, the corresponding sides are in proportion, and the corresponding angles are congruent. All right, well this one. Number 2, we really knew this already, okay, and so that was from the previous examples that we've done, and number 1 is really the new one that we're going to deal with. So let's jump right in. I think the easiest way is to just bring this first exercise up here, and you can see we have two triangles, all right, and we need to show, first of all, in part A, we need to show that triangle ABC and triangle A prime, B prime, C prime are congruent to each other. And don't mind my little box there. I'm just trying to. I really like to use blue instead of black, because black is the color that I have for the lettering. Okay, there we go. So now we got blue going, and so we're looking at these two triangles, and they want us to prove that triangle ABC is similar to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Well, the same way we did in the previous section, we need to show that you have two corresponding angles that are congruent, and then we can conclude what they want us to conclude up here, that they're similar. So, looking at the two triangles, and I'll go through this rather quick because we've done this before. I can see that angle B is 92 degrees and angle B prime is also 92 degrees. So there's one set of angles that are congruent to each other. So there's one, and angle A is 59 degrees and angle A prime is 59 degrees. So there's another. So just like we did in the previous section, we're gonna, whoops, that should be A. We're gonna say angle A prime are the same, so that allows us, as soon as we have these two that are congruent, that allows us to say, there's my favorite little 3 circles here, that allows us to say that the two triangles ABC and A prime, B prime, C prime are in fact similar. Alright, so that is part A, and again, that we have done before. Okay, now here's the new part. Since I have these two similar, well, that tells me this fact right here. The corresponding sides are in proportion. Now, it's really important that you match up the sides, just like it was really important that you match up the corresponding angles. All right, so, and it works the same way. Remember yesterday we said that this A was first and this A prime was first because they correspond. Well, that works the same with the sides. AB is the first and second letter, so A prime, B prime, those two sides will match up. AB and A prime, B prime will match up. They are corresponding. Alright? And what I can do is I can make a proportion with the corresponding sides. So I'm going to say AB, and a proportion, remember, is two ratios that are equal to each other. And I'm going to match up the sides going from triangle to triangle. I went triangle, this triangle on the left, to the triangle on the right. So I went AB equals A prime, B prime. Alright, and now I need to finish my proportion. Well, they want me to find the length of side BC. So I better include side BC in my proportion, and notice this one, they don't tell me how long that is, so I'm going to call that X. And if I go over here, well, they've told me what B prime, C prime is, which is the side that it would match up with. Okay? So there's my proportion. Notice again, this is really, really important, guys. If you get this, it'll be very easy for you. Alright? I went from left triangle to right triangle. AB, A prime, B prime. I went down here and I did the same thing. Left triangle to right triangle. And I just matched up the corresponding sides. So now I've got everything set up. I just plug in the numbers. Alright, and go over my picture. AB is 3.2. So I put a 3.2 there. BC, well, that's the one I'm looking for. That's my X. So I plug in an X. A prime, B prime, right over here, they tell me that's 5.12. And B prime, C prime is right up here. That's 8.96. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of numbers in a proportion, and we should know how to solve a proportion. You cross multiply. So I take 3.2 times 8.96. That's going to equal 5.12 times X. Oh, look at there. I've got myself an equation. And I'm going to solve that equation. Now I need a little help from my calculator here. I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to take 3.2 times 8.96, and I get 28. Oops, 28 point. What was that? 28.672. All right, and I'm going to bring down the 5.12x. Now I need to solve for x. So these two here are being multiplied together. I'm going to do the opposite and divide it. I think I can squeeze it right in down here at the bottom. That means x equals, bring up my calculator again, I need 28.672 divided by 5.12, and oh nice, that's 5.6, turns out nice. Okay, so that is 5.6. Okay, so what was I looking for? X is side BC, and that is BC. So there's one thing they wanted me to find right there. I'll put it in a little box for you. Okay, and the other one they wanted me to find is side A prime, C prime. I'll do that one in red. I put a little line there to separate it, but we'll do the same exact thing. We'll just match up sides. Alright, I know A, B, and A prime, B prime, so I might as well use those again. Since I know those, I could use B and C, but why not just start the same way? And they want me to find AC and A, well, they give me AC. I want to find A prime, C prime. So make sure you use those. Alright, so AB is 3.2. Just getting that right off the picture. AC, hopefully they gave me that one. Oh yeah, they did, 6.1. See? If they wouldn't have given me that one, I'd be kind of stuck. Alright, A prime, B prime, go over here. That's 5.12. Just plugging in numbers here. And AC, oh, I didn't give it a variable. Let's use a T. Since I already used an X for BC, let's use a T. Just because I like to draw little T's there. Okay. So again, here's the numbers. How do I solve a proportion? Well, you just cross multiply, alright? 3.2 T, that's cross there. And this is going to be 5.12 times 6.1. I need the help of my calculator again. Alright, 5.12 times 6.1, 31.232. All I did was multiply those together, and I'm going to bring down 3.2t. Okay, I'm going to solve for t here. I've got an equation, so these two are being multiplied, so I divide both sides by 3.2, and we're going to do a lot more work with equations in the coming weeks and months. Alright, so I need to divide that by 3.2. Oh, that worked out nice too, 9.76. Alright, and so I got a little more room down here. I can put this down here. A prime C prime is equal to 9.76. Alright, and there it is. Alright, so the big thing, guys, this was old hat right here for you, this part up here, but the new part, really, the sides are in proportion, okay, and all you have to do is really easy, just match up those sides. Here's example 2, or exercise 2, And you see we have a very similar setup. We have two triangles, and they're asking us to do very similar things and prove that they're similar, and then find the lengths of the sides AC and side A prime C prime. Alright, now some people may say, well, this is the same thing. We're just going to do the same thing as exercise 1. But I put this one on here because I want you to see how important it is to first prove what you're supposed to have before you jump to saying, oh wait, these two properties hold. It's very important to first make sure that you have two shapes that are similar. You have to do that first, and that's why it's part A. And like I said, some people will skip and say, oh, I'm going to do the math part first. I can just assume part A, and I can just say, oh yeah, they're similar, no problem, no problem. But you really can't do that, because watch what happens. Alright? In order to prove the two triangles are similar, well, what do we have to prove? We know that we have to prove that two angles are congruent. Alright? And looking at this picture, well, I've got one pair, angle B, is congruent to angle B prime. Look, both of them are 101. Awesome. However, you don't know anything about the other two angles. Alright, all I know is this triangle right here, they have to add up to 180, those three angles. So I could say, well, maybe this one is 49 degrees, and that would make this one 30 degrees. Okay, and I could come over to this triangle and say, well, maybe it is 49 and 30 degrees, but what else could it be? It could be, maybe this one's 59 degrees. Alright, and that would make this one 20 degrees. That would make them add up to 180 as well. So, it's very important, this is why it's part A and part B, it's very important to make sure you can prove this before you try to do this. Because if you try to do part B in this problem before you do part A, you're not going to be able to do it. You don't know AC or A prime C prime, so you can't set up the proportions. So right away, this exercise turns into a very short one, because we cannot prove another set of angles congruent. Alright, you can write that right in to your space there. I'm going to put the little congruent symbol. Alright, exclamation point. Pretty big stuff. Alright, therefore, then I'm going to 3 little dots. Therefore, triangle ABC is not similar to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay? It still may be, but we can't prove it. Alright? And if you cannot prove part A, then you cannot prove, or you cannot do, I should say, part B. Alright, here is exercise 3, and I'm going to change exercise 3 up a little bit, so I want you to pause the video, and I want you to label your triangles that you have there just like I have here. Okay, now that you've done that, we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're not going to do the question that I have there. We are going to simply do what we did in exercise 1, in that we're going to find the missing sides. Alright, so I have two sides up here that are missing in these triangles, and I'm going to give you this right here. We're going to bypass part A, where we had to prove that they are similar. I'm going to tell you that they are in fact similar. Alright, so here's what we're looking at. We have two triangles, and I'm going to highlight those triangles. We have triangle AED, which is this one right along here. So we have a smaller triangle, and we also have a larger triangle, triangle ABC, which is all the way down to there and all the way back up to there. Alright, so we have two triangles. I've told you that they're similar, and that means their sides are in proportion. So we're going to set up some proportions just like we did in exercise 1 to try to figure out what the missing sides are. So first let's take this side AC. That's from here all the way down to here. So I'm going to match up the corresponding sides again, and first I'm going to write it in letters. Well, AF would correspond with AC. Again, small triangle to big triangle. Alright, AF to AC. And I need two sides that I know. And we've given you EF and BC. So EF, again, small triangle, to corresponding side of the big triangle. Alright? So now I just plug in the numbers like I did exercise 1. AF is 5.5 and EF is 4.3. AC is the one that I'm looking for, that's X, and BC is along the bottom there, that's 13.76. Alright, so again, you have a proportion, and in order to solve that proportion, we cross multiply. So I'm taking 5.5 times 13.76, and on the other diagonal we have 4.3 times X. Now we're going to need to bring up my calculator again. I'll move that over here. And I need to take 5.5 times 13.76, and I get 75.68. Bring this right down. And I need to solve for X, so I divide both sides by 4.3. Again, I need some help with my calculator. 4.3. Oh, that works out nice. 17.6 for side X. Okay, so now I've figured out what this side is. I can even label it up on the picture here. 17.6. Alrighty, so just like we did in exercise 1, we're just matching up the sides. The other side I'd like to find is right here from A to E. I've labeled that with a T. Alright, so AE matches up with AB in the bigger triangle. So I'm going to go AE, and I'm going to match it up with, again, that's the smaller triangle. I'm going to match it up with AB on the big triangle. So small to big. And you don't have to go small to big. I just chose it that way. You could go big to small, but you have to be consistent. Since I started on the left here with the small triangle, and I went to the right on the big triangle, well, the one down below here should be from the small triangle. And really, you have two sides to choose from. We used EF and BC before. Well, why not use the ones we just found out? We just found out AC. So I'm going to use AF, and that matches up with AC on the big triangle. I don't have to. I could use EF and BC down here, but I just chose to, just for kicks and giggles, I guess. Alright, and then we plug in the numbers. AE is the variable, that's the one we're looking for, and AF is the 10.86. AB is going to be, oh, I just lost it. AB, oh, I put in the wrong one. Oh, excuse me, take that away. Alright, I don't want to put it in there, I want to take it away. AF, AF is 5.5, and AB up here is 10.86. Sorry about that. And AC is 17.6. So again, I have a proportion, alright, and I just cross multiply 17.6 times T, that's that, and then 10.86 times the 5.5. So I need to get out my calculator again, move that over here this time, and I need to multiply times 5.5. I get 59.73. Alright. And bring this down. There's a T there. I need to divide both sides by 17.6, just like I've done in all the other examples. And that should give me an answer here as soon as I divide. Well, that one didn't work out very well, but that's alright. 3.93, and I think that was a 7.5, yeah. Oops, that's 3.393. Okay, I'll have to fit that in there. I'll have to erase that. 3.39375. Alright, and so there you go. So there is your answer for T. Okay, so both of the examples that we did that actually worked out. First, we had to prove, or we were given, that they were similar, and then it's simply setting up these proportions again, matching up the corresponding sides, plugging in the ones that we know, and then solving for the ones that we don't know. All right, so thanks for watching. Hope that made sense, and take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow.